YouTube, people of the internet, what is going on? Welcome to an Ark of Osiris cast. Osiris League is with us and we will cast as much as possible. Playoffs will be casting much more, but right now the dream is for Lions, Company of Lions against Guardian of the Moon. This match is not like the top power, strongest alliances playing right now. It is rather a situation in which I believe, whoa. Why do you guys not hear, I wonder what happened to that. Oh well, did you guys hear the intro at all? Holy Beasts match. Yep, watch the Holy Beasts match. We're gonna watch the Company of Lions against a Guardian of the Moon. I feel like this is a match that's gonna be fairly close in terms not only of power, but the little bit of extra that these guys have. These guys earn back with their veterancy per se. I don't know why I couldn't see the speaker volume going up and down, but it's okay. I can't stay long. Have to attend officer meeting. Ooh, officer meeting. That's weird and cool, I guess. 206, 101. The difference between them in power can be made up by with veterancy. GoTM are pretty powerful known alliance. Line of Company are no joke either. I think this match is going to be a good one for us to keep an eye on. By the way, before we can let me really quickly turn on the chat blocker, and then while we wait the extra 3 minutes, I can show you guys our Ark of Osiris because, where are we? This. We won our Ark. I got a decent amount. This is not something crazy. My job this Ark was two things. First of all, I was in charge of holding on to the Shrine of War, which they failed to take. And one of the reasons we actually won the match was that the Shrine of War was as well secured. Not necessarily because it was me, but just because it was well secured by the team, that by the time they recovered from it, we had gained a lot of ground. And on top of that, you can see the victory right here. Farming Master. Heck yeah. The king of farmers for now. I got 1,300 out of our 6,700 provisioning points. My personal opinion is that this can be improved even further. If not me, which I think I can still improve, we can up this even further. But it was an interesting match overall. It wasn't a bad match by any means. I think that again, when LGM hit first our Shrine of War and put a lot of emphasis on it, they moved a lot of troops forward. And by the time those troops managed to refresh and do something, we had already taken their Shrine of Life and their Desert Altar. So yeah, it was a very good match. We are into the next round to the finals, and yeah, hopefully we'll be doing good in there too. For now, thankfully, I did my part, and I did it relatively well. I wonder, probably we won't find them because, by the way, massive shout out to Stoyboy. I just sent a solo march at him at the end, and he destroyed it. Every hit was 20,000. Every hit was 20,000. It took him less than 15 seconds to get rid of my march, which was kind of funny. Massive shout out to the man. He played very, very well. It happens. It is what it is. Battle in progress. Let's go take a look at the match going on. We have I think a very exciting match coming up. We can't watch. Hello? Go? Yes. Click. My goodness. Again? This again? This again? Close. Close. You. Go. Reload the event, and now it should work. Thank you. Click. Here we go. 22 against 14 so far. For the record, this is not bad. What's up, Tuki? Hey, Rom Gaming, Ista, Sammy, Howlead. What's up, man? Matthias. Everyone hyped for COVID-19. What's COVID-19? Russian name, something. SNO win FCK. Whoa, nice. That's awesome. I was wrong about a few predictions, I guess. Stormy and Josh, Titch, and Doglio. What's up, everybody? Semper Who else? Who else? Who else? We have Robert Fabian with us. Flux, Meep. What's up, everybody? Marcus, how you guys doing? How's it going, Omar? UCS victory. I didn't think otherwise. There are a few surprises for sure. COVID-19 is coronavirus. Oh, cool. Oh yeah, give me some of that juicy corona, man. Give me some of that juicy corona. I'm all for it. Let me get rid of the chat blocker since there's nothing for us to block. No need to add that real estate in there. Who do you guys have for this match? In the comments right now in the chat, hashtag LioN or hashtag GoTM. Let me know who do you guys think is going to win. And Sammy, my typing average is 85 to 88 words per second. Per minute, sorry, not per second. 85 to 88 words per minute. And if you ever actually want to get better, I do this almost every day when I start my day at work, just because it in generally it just helps. It helps me out. There you go. 10-finger test. If you don't know this website, that's how you get good at it. That's how you get good at it. I do a warm up in the morning with 2 runs of 10-finger tests just to kind of like warm up my hands and get ready for the day since I type a lot. All right, so with all this being said, a lot of lions in the chat. Wow, let's go take a peek really quickly, make sure everybody is in here. Lag is crazy, but GoTM have people porting in still. This is not necessarily the worst thing ever, but if they're gonna need to get some reinforcements from their backups, this might be a problem for them. For now, the beginning of Ark of Osiris is, as it always is, we have the first 3 minutes of just cool down and waiting things out, and I see 1 backup coming in. Other than that, it's a 30 against 27. Uh-oh, GoTM, what is going on here? 3 people missing on that lineup is not good news for these folks. We might have picked the wrong match. Maybe, we'll see. For now, 28 as they still come in. There's still time to make this up and make sure that gap is not as significant, because for the first few minutes of Ark of Osiris, what you usually see is, well, the only thing you can really do is, and we're going to do this for those of you who don't know how Ark works, the only thing you can do in the first, I believe, in the first 5 minutes is to work your way through the initial buildings. That is the obelisk and the outposts themselves. Obelisks are used to teleport your troops out of the initial zone and into the obelisk zone, and outposts are just some small buildings with some small points, and that's about that. The way Ark of Osiris works is you have a mirrored map, as you can see, and usually the map is split into 2 sections. The initial section, which is this one right here, and the secondary section, which is this one right there. And of course, in all that, you have the middle where the Ark of Osiris resides. You guys like my drawings? Drop a like on the stream if you like the drawings. This is what we're fighting for. We're fighting for our name on the glorious Osiris League building. OV taking Season 1. Who will be taking Season 2? That's still up for grabs. Red team starting strong, picking up their obelisk very early on. Blue team winning the outposts game. However, the obelisks being the more important building out of the 2. For now, we can give a small slight lead to the team in red. Blue team will secure buildings quicker, which means their points per minute game will start early. However, it is not that crucial considering red team will be able to port closer almost half a minute earlier. The way Ark of Osiris works is it's a point-based game. Kills don't matter, and well, your troops do matter because you need them to get points. The way the game works is based on 3 different types of points. You either have your points per minute game, which is gained by occupying buildings, or you have your provisions points, which you can get by gathering caravan tiles across the map. Caravan tiles look something like that. By gathering these caravans, you can get extra points for yourself. And of course, the third and final way to get a lot of points is the Ark of Osiris. Carrying the Ark of Osiris to your side will get you a good amount of points, and it can be a game changer if you don't pay attention to it. For now, it looks like blue team kind of taking a very slight lead in the building game. They own all their outposts and both obelisks. Red team still neglecting the one outpost. This will give the blue team about a 60 to 70 point lead-ish, as they have about a minute difference in here. So I believe that by the time all this will be done, we'll see blue team ahead by a slight until things start getting a little more worrisome. The biggest problem for blue team is that the folks in red will be able to teleport into this obelisk a minute early, which means they're going to have a full minute to march their troops forward and potentially get close enough to the desert altar on the blue side's team that this could cause serious issues. For now, though, all is good. Nothing is undoable. Everything is okay. We're still keeping an overview look because there's nothing happening yet on the field. But as the match will begin, we'll start going in further. For now, what you're seeing is 4 rallies out of the Lions, 2 to their own obelisks and 2 going out to the enemy obelisks. On the opposite side, the red team has 2 marches of their own. It looks like they are marching towards their enemies' obelisks rather than towards their own. It looks like they are employing an old tactic we had, JWM had done quite a bit in last season. If I'm not mistaken, those look like, right? Those do look like, yeah, they're not tier 4s. Maybe they are. They're marching fairly fast for tier 4s. But regardless, the march towards the obelisks is still a thing. Most people use these marches to just move troops up on the field. So what we will most likely see is this rally breaking up right there and heading towards the desert altar that they want to secure early for their own team. Blue team did pretty much the same and got here the same way. And now there's a little bit of a brawl early on, but whoever gets into the desert altar first will win this. And there goes the red team. Now red team fills in this desert altar. And with that being said, they managed to secure their own desert altar. For the first time in a while, we see both shrines of life at the same time missing, which is actually fairly cool. Red team picking up their own at the bottom first might give them a slight edge early on. Let's go see if the red team utilized their... No, they did not. They did not use their capabilities to teleport quicker and get forward faster. Not a big deal, but a little bit of a potential misplay. What's up, Neil? And by the way, chat, if I don't pay much attention to you guys, I apologize. I usually focus very heavily on the match more than I focus on chat itself. So if and when I do apologize if that happens. What else we got here? Let's see. Let's take a look right there. GoTM holding on to their Ark fairly well early on. Looks like we have another nothing, just a map being split. Just like you guys can see, we talked about this earlier. The map is a mirrored map and you can see the split exactly as it should be. Each team has their own side. And from here on, we are looking for rallies. We're looking for ways to fight in the field to try to get buildings. GoTM seem to be much more keen on the rallies. There are a few buildings you should keep your eye on usually, and you should prioritize early on. Shrine of War is a great one to prioritize because if you manage to take your enemy's Shrine of War, you take away 5% troop attack and defense from them. And since you have your own, they now have 0 and you have 10 of each, which will give you a huge lead in terms of power. Looks like the folks in blue started also a couple of rallies, one on the Shrine of Life of red and one on the Shrine of War. Interestingly enough, they are targeting the shrines first over the altars. If you guys don't know this about Ark of Osiris, the most important buildings on the map in terms of the points per minute game are the altars. The altars are worth a total of 150 points per minute. And if you successfully first occupy them, you get an extra 750 points per building. Now this slow mixed troop march by our friend Saladin right there is probably not going to get here fast enough to stop first occupation from blue team. But maybe, just maybe, it'll be strong enough to catch them off guard. There is plenty of open field presence by the blue team to be able to hit this rally out. A recommendation I have for those of you watching this match right now is do not counter rally. Counter rallying is one of those mechanics that just simply aren't worth it anymore. At this point, as you can see, blue team are doing the correct approach, which is swarm the rally. Why swarming the rally is better? Remember two important things about counter rallies. Number one, the fact that only one set of commanders get to cast skills, which means 4 to 5 marches within the counter rally itself are completely doing nothing beyond damage. Now, you could use those marches with better commanders, for example, like Miso is doing in here, to get kind of the same amount of damage. You're taking much more, but you're doing enough damage so that you can fluff the rally out and then leave it for the building to take care of it. Now, of course, blue team doesn't really want to leave it yet for the building. The building is not as strong as it should be, but counter rallying it has never been a good thing, and OV were the ones last season that have taught us that it's, instead of the counter rally, it is much more worth for you to have an open field presence and swarm as much as possible. Saladin is a pro against swarms for sure, but again, having those marches, fluffing the rally, and then leaving it for the building does two things. First of all, it ensures that the rally stays there and continually hits, and if it's not going to win, which in this case it looks like this Edward is going to do massive damage to the Shrine of Life, you're delaying 4 to 5 marches away. Remember, when you have a counter rally hitting a rally, you have 4 to 5 marches locked into that fight until you either cancel the rally or the fight ends. When you have an open field presence, you're able to swarm the rally, and then if you need to, stop the swarm and get into the building. And so it's been shown in last season that the higher end of gameplay have been stopping the counter rally approach and going more for the open field. Even when you have a Saladin who does massive damage to the open field, you really want to be swarming more than counter rallying. It's one of those things where it's the same thing as gathering. This, for example, my opinion, is a very bad idea. And it's not only my opinion, it's been shown to be one of the most useful things to do by OV themselves. That is how they got as far as they did, by straight up swarming. There are plenty of explanations more we can go through, but so many buildings are blinking right now. Red team picked up the Shrine of Life away from blue team, and red team also picked up the Sky Altar away from blue team. 30 versus 30 now. Finally, the folks in red are back in shape. The match is fairly even. The point per minute game is in favor of red, so in a moment, red will take a slight advantage. What you're seeing here is some provisions coming home for the folks of the blue team. One thing you should keep an eye on, which is very, very, very useful for you guys, is more often than not, you'll find yourselves like here, with a bunch of open field presence. Now, Miso can do something very simple. He can take this Cao Cao and put him in this caravan. Now, obviously, he doesn't want to stay in the caravan forever, but as long as he's within the caravan, he's gathering. Now, if something happens in the Desert Altar, he can always come out, hit whatever is getting hit, and if that march gets killed, not a big deal. The moment he gets back home, free points. And so having open field marches standing still is also not necessarily the best idea. Spartiata GR, whatever his name is also kind of making a very, very big mistake, which is walking back his wounded troops rather than going at something coming in like this, for example. This is what ACMPA guy is doing. He's straight up going in here to get his march killed so it marches home faster by a lot. Ark of Osiris is about to pop on the field. Let's go take a look at the middle, see what's going on. Red team with big presence, but blue pushing in. The problem for blue is that they're fighting a bit further up from the Ark itself. And when that happens, the issue is if they drop the Ark this way, which they are about to, there's going to be a lot of marching needed to get this red team off of the Ark of Osiris. This match is still fairly even, but red team holding on to 3 altars is very bad news for blue team. Add to that the fact that the Ark of Osiris is now marching home towards the red side. GoTM are taking LioN out for a spin in the first 15 minutes of this match. You don't get... absolutely not, Matthias. Or Matthias, whatever you call it. If your march dies and you have provisions, you still get it. If your march dies while it's on the tile, then you don't get it. It's the same as resources. If you have resources on you and you die on the open field, you still get the resources. It's the same exact thing. And it's how I picked up 1,301 resources instead of a round number, because one of my marches that was gathering had an uneven number, and that's how it ended up happening. And so when as long as you die on the open field, not on the node itself, then you will get the provisions. Small tip for you guys. We've been doing this for a while now. Fairly successfully. It's the same thing with the gathering, by the way. One of the things that I know someone who used to do is go around gem gathering all over the place in Lost Kingdom, and then when he or she were done, they just go hit something, get wrecked with their tier 1 sieges, and march home like that, and just heal those real quick. Watch the interview from OV from last Osiris League. Yep. Indeed. All right, so red buildings are blinking. Blue team doing what they need to do right now, which is get their altars back. The problem, a Charles Martel against a Genghis Khan that's also getting hit in the open field, is very bad news. Now, here's a great example of why a counter rally is fairly bad. One march out of these four, 2 marches so far, have noticed that the counter rally has broken. So really, 1, 2, 3 marches for the last 2 minutes have been completely useless, because now they're marching back home. One more guy figured it out and came back, but 2 of these guys are still walking home. And essentially, Fable, in a moment, has had 1 march for the last 2 minutes doing nothing. This is one of the reasons a counter rally is so bad. It's because at the end of the day, you're very reliant on your opposition rather than on what you want to do. There are plenty of other examples I can give you why a counter rally is bad, but for now, what you're seeing is LioN trying to take back their Sky Altar. They're going to be very successful at this. Looks like GoTM kind of gave up on this building, which is okay. They can give it back in the favor of blue, because red right now are 300 points per minute ahead in the game. Once this building locks up in favor of blue, we're back to 50-50. The bleeding stops for the blue team, but red, holding on to the Ark of Osiris, are going to have to keep an eye on the timer. Remember, as of right now, your timer up there is new. Remember that. If the timer goes up and this guy keeps holding for too long, Ark goes away. So it's very important to keep an eye on that as well. Holding on to the Ark is acceptable, but just got to keep an eye on the timer too. Red team going at it for the blue team desert altar. This counter rally could break up and go into the building rather than hit the rally itself and give the building more time to allow more people to come in to hold on to the building. Instead, it's hitting a rally, which is still very successful against the desert altar. And if red team take this desert altar away, which they could, even if that counter rally instantly starts hitting the building, it's still a loss of a building. There are still 2 open field marches in here by red team who are just chilling right now. They don't really need to do much in here. It looks like the rally will not be a success in here, partially also because of the counter rally. But there are so many marches in here that could have gone into this building and allowed the rally to last longer. Counter rallying a rally means that you're also killing the rally faster. If you're going to win the fight inside a building against a rally, you really want to make it last as long as possible, because you want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marches to be stuck fighting this for as long as possible. So there are, again, plenty of things we can talk about counter rallies, but the top tier of the game have already noticed how counter rallying is just not the best approach to getting rid of a rally. As you can see once more, a counter rally doing damage, the building holding on successfully, and marches walking home. Some of these fairly full that could still be utilized on the open field. This guy with a 2 full minute march, if he doesn't pay attention to it, he's going to march for 5 long minutes. 5 long minutes for almost nothing. If someone attacks your tile, you just hop out the tile and attack them. Yep, and that's how you ensure you get the resources. Been playing for more than a year, and I didn't know the resources lost when you get hit on the tile. They do get lost. They do get lost. Right now, looks like the match is fairly even, with the exception of a Shrine of Life in favor of red team. Also, on top of that, blue team are waiting to occupy, it looks like they're waiting to occupy the bottom sky altar. Once that gets done in 10 seconds, the points per minute game will even out. For now, a slight 900 point lead for red team, plus another 3,000 being banked by the Ark of Osiris. There's still 38 long minutes in the match to go, and plenty that Lions can do to get back into this and win the match. So take a peek and see if anyone is provisioning. One of the things we've talked about last Osiris League is the importance of provisioning, and it seems like we are not seeing enough provisioning happening. One of the tips I can give you about provisioning is you do not want to send the recommended amounts of troops. What you want to do is you want to find a fairly secure tile that is far away, something like this level 3, and you want to send to it your march with as many sieges as possible and never let it go home. Throughout the match, as soon as this is done, hop to the next one, hop to the next one, keep hopping to safe tiles, and towards the very end, march home. You don't want to waste time marching in and out with your provisions. It'll take you about 8-9 minutes to get back home from almost anywhere in here. So if you come back home in the last 10 minutes, you're pretty much guaranteed to get yourself a lot of points. And those points might be the difference between winning and losing a match. Right now, because of the Shrine of Life being in favor of the red team right here, blue team is a little bit of a disadvantage, 80 points per minute. But in a moment, that is going to go away. And when that happens, it looks like that Tila Takeda is doing massive damage like always. When this happens, these folks are just going to even up them points per minute game in 3 minutes. That'll still give the folks in red 240 points of a lead. And that lead is growing now to 1,200 total points. And the points per minute game is kind of even. Let's go take a peek at the Sky Altar being hit once more by a rally. This Sky Altar is not doing great against the rally against Boloy. I guess that's how you say his name. This is where some open field presence around this rally would be crucial, as well as more reinforcements towards the Sky Altar. Dragging the rally against the Sky Altar is fantastic so long as you can hold on to it. That is why a Richard is present on the wall. It is there to heal his own troops as much as humanly possible and slowly drag this rally as much as possible. That's what they're doing in here, and so far so good, except that the rally is doing a little bit of damage. It looks like the building is finally taking an advantage, and the rally is probably going to go down. But I still don't see enough blue presence around here to guarantee that. Red team, in the meantime, counter-rallying Madalor's rally right here. And this is going to be a problem. The counter-rally is nice, but is the damage going to be enough to actually stop this rally from hitting? Looks like some Richard is sitting behind this Charles Martel, so there might be hope for this to happen. But for now, the rally is doing more damage than the building is. Counter-rally coming in is definitely doing a good job, but for now, the rally is still winning. With a March choosing to go into the counter rally rather than the Desert Altar, either he has a March in here or he wants to go on the offensive more than on the defensive. Got to be careful, because if that building falls, the rally will be disbanded, and 150 points per minute, bam, there's the disband right there by blue team. That was, in my opinion, a very, very bad play by blue team. They're marching back with super low marches, going all the way home, 2 full minutes worth, and 4 minutes and 3 minutes times 2. to get back home with half-eaten marches. You do not want to do this, ladies and gentlemen. You'd rather let your rally die and march home dead and fast than this. These marches are completely useless right now on the field or anywhere really. And on top of that, they have a long way to go home. There's a rally in here they can go hit to get themselves killed quicker and go home faster. It looks like Kipchick is doing just that. Gonna go suicide his troops. But all these folks could have gotten away from it. It could have already been home if they were dead. Rally coming in somewhere. Whoa, where is this rally going? From the top to the bottom, my goodness. Okay, from the bottom to the top, what do you know? So far, a lot of buildings are blinking, but no buildings are exchanging hands. Defense is good so far, but red team are holding onto a card for another 4 minutes. Ark of Osiris goes in, big lead, 4,000 points, and the timer starts ticking for the center team to come back into this. Right now, red team are fully in the driver's seat. They are dictating the pace. They are stopping any attacks from the red team. And it looks like while they're able to defend themselves fairly well, a Richard rally is probably something you never want to see on Ark of Osiris, because truthfully, it keeps healing and therefore it doesn't die. And if you can't take the building anyway, like they can't right now, you want to get back and restart. Remember, you have 1 hour worth of Ark of Osiris. That's it. Time is of the essence. The amounts of healing this Richard is doing and delaying the inevitable of the loss is a lot of time. GoTM are missing out on, let's see how many marches. We'll see that in a moment. As the rally is still holding on, for freak's sakes, how long are you gonna live? Look at how much time is being wasted by this rally that is still alive. Thank the Lord. How many round marches? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marches, 7 marches sitting in here for this long for absolutely no reason. You do not want to delay. If you're defending, you want to delay. If you're attacking, you want to get it over with as quickly as possible. Richard is good for defending. He's not good for attacking. If you're attacking with a Richard, you're wasting your own time. Red team is still in the lead, although the points per minute game evened out. And now it's time for either blue to figure out what they're doing or for red team to really take this match and get it over with. 4,100 points in their favor so far. Not the end of the world yet. 1 Ark of Osiris in favor of blue, and this thing goes down to less than 1,000 points. But it looks like, again, blue team is very focused on hitting open field rather than going in the building and let the building do the job. Let the building do the job. These guys, for example, these guys are absolutely not able to do anything against this building. And the quicker you kill them, the faster they go home and the faster they come back. And so all this open field fight works in favor of red team for 2 reasons. 1, they get to go home much faster. Look at the difference between this guy, 2-minute home versus nobody's gonna march home. They're gonna suicide everything in. 1, they're going back home faster. 2, they're keeping you in here when your building is fully able to defend it. So all of these open field marches, instead of going to the front and trying to gain control, they're fighting for defending something, which 2 of these marches could have just held here, joined the building as time went by, and secured it that way. I'm seeing a few fundamental mistakes that both teams are making, and those fundamentals, when you reach the playoffs, teams will abuse the heck out of those fundamentals. I'll give you an example from my match today. In JWM2, what we did is fairly simple. Any march we see that is yellow, we don't touch. Why? Because if I kill you, I'm helping you go home faster. And a yellow march is fairly useless on the open field as well as defending. So any yellow march we see on the open field, get away from it. Any open field fight that happens and the other team goes yellow, get away from it. Make them waste time. You want to waste time of the other team as much as possible. This is a great example of a good time waster, but they need a little bit of extra open field presence because there's also a rally in here. Phaeton right now needs to get into this building, and so does Renz. And once they do, and this building gets a little bit of extra security, once this Ethelfled goes out, these two guys are going to go out fairly quickly. Some open field swarm happens on the rally. Then the building is then the delay is going to happen. The problem is they're not reinforcing the building. They need to keep reinforcing the building and fast. If they lose this building, it's 150 points per minute out the window. And unfortunately, the focus on the open field fight ended up costing them the Sky Altar. It did take longer than it should have for the red team, but at the end of the day, as long as they take the building, it is worth it. Red team are relentless. They keep sending rallies nonstop. We're seeing the rally counter at over 2 by red team consistently, and they're strictly hitting buildings, while from the looks of it, it looks like blue team are more counter rallying than actually rallying. Because red team has so much control of the buildings game, they can allow themselves to do this, which is have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 marches AFK next to the Temple of Osiris 3 minutes before the Ark shows up. Of course, you don't want to stay too much AFK, because what you're seeing right here is blue team figured it out, and they're going to start yoinking one by one these marches out. And so the open field fight that's going on right now here is in favor of blue team as of right now. But the problem is, now that red figured it out, they're going to start pushing forward. And what they're doing is they're pushing blue away from the Temple of Osiris, meaning they'll be able to take more control and first control of this Ark. 27 minutes remaining in the game. The red team in the lead by 1 Sky Altar in the points per minute game, and 4,400 points in their favor too. They also now took another altar away from blue team, so that's 300 points per minute in their favor, and in a moment when they lock in these two buildings, it'll turn into 600 points per minute lead in the favor of red. What are the Lions gonna do? Where is the roar, Lions? This is the time. And the way you do that is by starting to take control of the map. I am not seeing enough rallies by blue team to try to do anything. Out of 25% of their rallies is a counter rally, while the folks in red, for the first time I'm seeing an actual counter rally in here, because more often than not, they're focused on this, they're focused on that, they're focused on buildings. Shrine of War has very little presence on the open field. No, the counter rally is going to take too long to get here. The open field presence is not enough. And if Altar World doesn't put this march into the building very, very quickly, this is going to be a huge problem. Now, the real question is, when do you replace your marches? You do not want to replace your marches too late, but also not too early. I would recommend replacing your marches once they hit about less than half of their size. Do not wait for the building to go red to get in it. The reason I say that is when the building is red, it means there's very little troops remaining, which means when you get in, most of the troops are going to be you. And so now you're holding by yourself. When the building is at about half health, when your march is at about half health, when you get out and you put your full march in, you're also helping your alliance mates to survive longer. If they survive longer, you divide the damage among you guys, and it gives more time in general for more people to get here. Can Lillykins get here in time? It is going to be very, very, very close, and gets in here, but again, now she's holding by herself a solo march practically against a rally of a nasty Edward, a Guan Yu on the open field, add to that a nice little Fable Khan, and by herself she cannot hold. All she can do is delay a little bit. Art 87 coming in to help her out maybe. Nope, going for open field battles instead. But if nothing happens here and this building doesn't get reinforced, one more march gets in here. But it's 1 march against 5 right now in the building, and unless they get more marches in quicker, they're in trouble. The counter rally finally showing up, but the building's almost down. Their open field is nasty. Thankfully, this Khan is just in time to get rid of this Edward. This was very, very close. All that was needed was one good skill by that Edward, and that Shrine of War was gone. But good job by Lions recovering that fumble in the last moment to get themselves away from losing one of their most important buildings for them to be able to attempt to mount a comeback. The problem is their comeback is falling apart as the red team has the Ark of Osiris on their side, and man, oh man, a lot of red team presence here. Now, here is a big problem. While blue team have to get a little bit of space and get the Ark back on their side, as soon as someone picks up an Ark of Osiris, they are gonna get squished. It looks like red team haven't targeted the Ark of Osiris carrier yet. Man, blue team are getting a great break. Red team are not paying attention to the Ark carrier almost at all. Finally, 2 marches are getting there, and now the Ark carrier is getting drilled and finally falls, but so much space gained from here to here for blue team. Great work by them. You know who the next march to grab the Ark is. This is the time to hit it. Grabbing the Ark makes you a huge target. So grabbing the Ark has to happen at a very, very strategic time, or as long as you have enough marches to consistently keep picking it up and consistently keep failing. Right now, Ninja picking up that Ark means that he is the target. We'll see how long he gets it, and poof, just like that, he goes away. Didn't even finish scrolling up, and gone. Back on the ground it goes. And now blue team have a little bit of presence in here. They might be able to pick up this Ark. Ark was picked up by blue, and this is the time to start backpedaling home before red team figures out who has the Ark and starts targeting it. Here comes Sibber is looking to suicide his troops to get back home quicker, but instead of hitting the Ark carrier right next to him, he's going for a suicide march. This is trouble for red team. Blue team are skipping. They're getting away with it. Blue team are getting away with it. Is this what they needed to get back into the game? 3,500 points is what you'll get out of this Ark. This is the second Ark of the match. And if they hold it or deliver it quick enough, I believe blue team are going to have to deliver it fast in order for them to be able to catch one more and potentially come back into this, because their points per minute game has not been good at all. And they really want to make sure they do get that locked down. As soon as these 2 altars get in their favor, the points per minute game bleeding will diminish by a lot, considering they're now losing by 380 points per minute. And now finally that bleeding slows down. Delivering the Ark will be great news for them, as that's going to put them about 3,000 points away from red team, who are now in the lead by over 6,000 points. This is a great change of pace for blue team, but now they have to abuse it. Red team seem to have realized they can no longer catch this Ark. Everything coming close to the Ark is getting drilled. If blue team allow this Cao Cao to keep marching as quickly as he is and hit the Ark, my goodness, blue team, what are you doing? It hurts. It hurts. But the Ark is still moving, which is important. No skill in Osiris League yet, Walter. There could be Osiris League, there could be Ark skills in the playoffs, more than likely, but right now there are no skills available. Blue team trying to hold on to their desert altar while things are going down, but the rally that was hitting the desert altar was the only thing that's in this building. And because they focused a little bit too much on the center, a rally coming up against this Edward, a Saladin rally to make things worse. Was that a Yisongye in the back? Okay. Who's that? That looks like a Yisongye. I can't unsimplify graphics to see. Lilith, for the love of God. Ark is still making its way towards the desert altar, but guess what? That desert altar might not be blue fairly soon. That rally is actually taking this building down, and the crazy thing is they could get a 2-for-1. They could take this desert altar and have the Ark carried out for them. Kind of insane. Kind of insane. Looks like blue team realized it and went instantly to reinforce this desert altar. The red team are trying their best to try to stop Elady away from getting this Ark in, but this Ark is way too far in for it not to go for blue team. Red team needs to react a little bit. Desert altar successfully defended, but a sky altar having a little bit of issues. We're not going to look at that. We're not going to look at that, chat. We're not going to look at that. Lily going for the Shrine of Life very successfully. Looks like the Shrine of Life has been overlooked. This is where blue team can start playing their game. They can start taking the lead by starting to take buildings away from red, while red is going, the Ark, someone stop the Ark. Blue team put so much of their eggs into this basket. Bam! 2,000 point difference, 2,600 point difference between the two teams. 80 points per minute in the points per minute game. Blue team, 20 minutes remaining in the match. They are back in this, baby. They are back into this and big time. They evened out the points per minute game. They lost a silly outpost, which will still give red team a little bit of an extra edge, but not that much. Only 30 points. Shrine of War getting attacked, and oh boy, Shrine of War was overlooked by the blue team. Can this Richard hold long enough for this to happen? Now, I understand the use of a Yi Song-Ye on a rally to try to kill a swarm out, but again, trust me when I tell you, the swarms do a fantastic job holding on to pretty much anything and destroying rallies. Nobody's gonna make it in time for this Shrine of War, and did he make it in? He did not! He did not make it in. Oh no, feels bad, man. Did he try to get in? Or did he try to get in? Or was he late, or did he target the rally instead? I don't know. This swarm right here is going to be fairly successful, though there's a Yi Song-Ye in there, so pain is going to come on these marches, and no pun intended. And to make things worse, even after they potentially take the Shrine of War back, 3 minutes until it's back in their favor, red team are not going to let this go down easily. They are going to lose the Shrine of War, which is a good job for blue team to stabilizing back. They really need to lock in this Shrine of War in their favor. And they are hitting back. Well, they were hitting back against the Sky Altar. An unsuccessful hit right there. This will divert some attention from the blue team. But so far, it looks like no damage done. A little bit of damage done. 240 points taken away from blue team. And red team once more growing that gap even further. About 2,700 points means the next arc is going to be it. But the points per minute game is super important. The way blue team can come back into this is by right now, 5 minutes before the timer is up, rally everything. Try to take as many buildings as possible. Distract red team like crazy while your middle team starts working on the center. Red team has a small presence in the center, which is okay. Blue team has still a good 2 minutes to start getting a little bit more. They have 2 minutes to do something before they start moving forward. We have a question from Vignesh in the chat. When a structure is being occupied 3 minutes, no team gets points for that time, correct? Yes. This is why, for example, one of the strategies that a lot of teams employ is take a building, like for example, this desert altar away from the blue team, and then get out of it and go towards the center. The blue team is gonna focus a little bit on this. You're gonna delay 3 minutes worth of points away from them for pretty much free. Even more than 3 minutes, really. Delaying another team from gaining points is also a very, very, very good tactic. I've seen individual teams who what they do is they hit a building and then get out of it. They don't care to hold on to it for too long. What they want to do is they want to stop the other team from gaining points while they secure their own side entirely. There's some big difference between Osiris League strategies and regular Ark players, but the mechanics are the same. That is correct. In Ark of Osiris, you should be using Ark of Osiris as your playground for strategies for Osiris League. In there is the time for you to experiment and see what works and what doesn't. I urge every single one of you, especially Tsuki, who said that he thinks counter rallies is very good. I urge you, whenever you have a chance, to try to do one match with strictly counter rallies and one match with strictly open field swarms and check the difference out, and you'll see, you'll notice a difference. I'm telling you that right now. That's one of those things that, by the way, one of the reasons OV were very successful against JWM in the final, they were strictly open field swarming, while JWM were more counter rally. Well, they didn't counter rally too much, but the little bit they did was enough to make it a big problem. Shrine of Life about to go down. Great counter rally, except that the building is still going down. Big problems if the building goes down and the counter rally survives. Congrats on the counter rally, but hey, you just lost a lot of points. Thankfully, another March made it in time to hold on to the building. It is this Yi Song-Ye paired with Edward is still nasty to no extent. And think about how many marches are now locked into having this fight out. And truthfully, this counter rally, 2 marches from this counter rally go into the building, the rest go home, and this rally is toast. And so look at how many marches are still in here, even though the building is already secured. And making it worse, look at how little health all of these marches have. So now they have to go back home. And even to make it worse, you helped out this dude go home faster. So all of you now have a little bit of a march back and forth, while these guys probably have the same amount of march time. Look at the difference. These guys have a minute and a half to march from there to here. And these guys are marching across the map in 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes and 40 seconds to be exact. So far, the points per minute game seems to have evened out. The Ark of Osiris coming up is probably going to determine the way this game goes. With 13 minutes remaining, this is the last Ark we will see, and this is why the madness is ensuing. Red team is pushing hard. 2 altars in their favor. Blue team making a move, taking a sky altar away, and look at the counter rally alive. Congratulations, counter rally, but you lost the sky altar. 3 minutes worth of points. Why? Because those marches were in a counter rally instead of available to hold on to the building. At this point, it's unbelievable. And yes, Stormy, I am making clear how much time is wasted on marches because time is the most important resource in Ark of Osiris, in Osiris League in general. Look at what happened to this counter rally. It did nothing. It was unsuccessful at stopping the building from going down. It did not hold on to the building. It lost the open field presence now. For a whole minute now, they're not gaining points, which means they're going to lose 4 minutes worth of points or 600 points. For what? For a counter rally, which is probably the worst thing you can do nowadays in Ark of Osiris. Truthfully, and you're welcome to experiment that yourself. Just like I drilled in last season how much provisioning is important, we're going to drill in other mistakes that I see that people are making very consistently in the hopes and dreams that people learn something out of that one. Let's go take a peek and see what goes on in here. Shrine of War under danger again, but blue team, here's the deal. The center is very important, but if the red team has 10% attack and defense in their favor, blue team is going to have such a hard time with this Ark of Osiris. Such a hard time. Red team has a nice little presence in here. This is the time for the blue team to do whatever they can to get in here. This is for all the marbles, ladies and gentlemen. About roughly 2,000 points difference between the two. Blue team are in the points per minute lead. And once they lock in this other sky altar in their favor, so far so good. Things might look very, very good for blue team to come back. Blue team dropping the Ark. A little bit of a mistake dropping it on the side rather than on the back, but that is okay because it is already marching into their side and it is taking off. Red team, start following it. There we go. Red team start following the Ark carrier, and the Ark carrier is gaining ground, a lot of ground. With 11 minutes remaining and about 2,000 points difference, this is very doable for blue team if they manage to not let red team take the Ark. Provisioning points can come in and clutch this, as well as the fact that they're still ahead in the points per minute game. They're going to be about 300 points ahead in the points per minute game, which means as long as they hold on to that lead, they're going to win the match. With less than 2,000 points between the two teams and 11 minutes remaining, if the blue team has 300 points per minute more, they'll make 3,000 points more and right towards the end beat red team out. This is all in for blue team. Right now, blue team's top priority is whatever happens, this Ark must not go down. The problem is their Shrine of War went down, and with that, their buffs are down as well as a little bit of points, 80 points per minute in their favor. There is still enough points for them to make a comeback. If they are provisioning, I hope to God they're provisioning, because this is it. This is for everything. This Ark cannot march back red. That is the top priority for blue. They cannot allow this Ark to go towards red. Period. As long as they do that, they should be successful at potentially making a comeback. Red team are not going to slip on their sky altar. They're sending rallies across the board. Sky altar will most likely be taken back, but still 3 minutes that red team will not get points is an issue. Add to that the fact that the Shrine of Life is also being attacked right now. Blue team moving the Ark in their favor once more. The Ark is marching, and it is marching well. It is marching really well. Much more blue presence in here than red. Uh-oh, red team. 9 minutes remaining in the match. There is a little bit of time remaining to cast this Ark, but not that much. I feel like we picked the best match out there right now. This is actually crazy. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the match. Don't forget to drop a like on the stream before you leave. And if you're enjoying the content, make sure you're subscribing to the channel as well. And yeah, what can be said? We are not necessarily, Ronnie or Chiskel or Dragothian going, pulling hundreds and hundreds of views. But those of you who picked this match, I appreciate you guys very, very much. And hey, we picked a good one. My goodness, blue team! The Lions! The roar! It is coming, chat! My goodness! The roar is here! You're not gonna stop here. Go home, homie! You're so close! What are you doing? Don't do it. Don't do it. Uh-oh. What is this? There you go! Attaboy! My God, chat! You're gonna do this! They're going to do this. They have the points per minute game. They have the Ark in their favor. The Lions are roaring in the last 10 minutes of the match. They woke up, and GoTM, who are in the driver's seat the whole match, seem to have dropped the ball towards the end. Blue team cannot afford to lose too many buildings, so they have to do something about these rallies, or else there's still a slight chance that red team still wins this. But man, oh man, the Ark of Osiris I hope to God you deliver it. There is no time for another one. Go deliver it and use your marches for something else. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't play with fate. Oh God, he's gonna do it, isn't he? Oh God, he's gonna do it, isn't he? I can't watch this. I can't watch this. Chat, help. Someone tell him to deliver the Ark. They're losing all their buildings, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Richard versus Richard is fantastic news for blue team. This should last forever. The Sky Altar, on the other hand, is having a lot of trouble. This is going to go down, and red team are going to take the point per minute lead. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness gracious. Blue team taking the Ark. There we go. With all that being said, 3,000 point lead in the favor of blue. There is not enough time for this point per minute differential to be enough for the red team to win. In here, provisions are going to come into play a crucial role in here. GoTM dropping the ball towards the very end. They are doing the correct thing, which is countering against the blue team. Now, the only thing blue team really need to do is they need to stop the points per minute gain by red team. The way they do that is by rallying the altars that are giving points already to the red team. This altar is not giving points for the red team. And so by hitting this one altar, if the blue team right now take away the desert altar from the red team, oh boy. Lions turned it around in the last 6 minutes of the match. My goodness, this is probably one of the best matches we could have picked. I'm really glad we're watching a very balanced 1.6 billion power matchup between these two alliances. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Let's see what we got here. Shrine of War fairly secured. Good job by blue team. Desert Altar once more. A little bit of an issue with this Ethelfled, but it'll take a long time for this altar to go down. Game over. Da is looking to make things worse by hitting this Richard. But once again, he is better off hitting Ethelfled first and then not the rally, making sure Ethelfled goes down, and then going in the building and letting the rally do its thing. The rally is not going to win just like that. Lions turning it around, 3,000 point lead for them, but provisions might be making their way home. Keep your eyes on the points, ladies and... Oh, whoa. Keep your eyes on the points, ladies and gentlemen, as provisions can come in at any moment and change this game around. I can tell you in the last 3 minutes of the match, I secured 1,300 points by myself for my team in the last 3 minutes coming back from provisioning. So 2 of those people in the red team, 3 of those people in the red team, and they win this match. And so it is doable. Blue team right now has to stop the point per minute gain for GoTM. And man, oh man, 4 minutes and 47 seconds remaining. This match is nuts. This match is really nuts. I'm going to leave the VOD available for you folks to enjoy. I highly recommend you guys watch this match because there's a lot to learn from both sides. And it was a very tight match as well. There's tons to learn from this match. And yeah, it looks like blue team taking away an outpost from red team. So far, so good. So many teleports. How did the teams go? How did the teams do on using them? You are right. Red team has a lot of teleports available as well as blue. But the reason that usually happens, Stormy, is because individuals who are supposed to teleport forward at the 30th minute, at the 20th minute, 25th minute, have open field marches on the field. And so they can't teleport. They can't utilize the teleports. Open field blowout on the Sky Altar. Fantastic work by blue team. Stopping down the bleed, slowing down the bleeding as quickly as possible. If they can take away one more altar, this desert altar away from GoTM, that will make things so much worse. Let's go take a peek. Ooh, what the hell is calling me? What is going on? I gotta check this really quickly. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, Phaeton showing up here massively. Not only a rally, but also an open field presence. I don't think this is going to be enough for him to take this. 3 minutes remaining. The folks in red, 230 points per minute in their favor. This match, my goodness. The heartbeat is racing for me too, my man, as things are going wild. 3 minutes remaining. Blue team's trying to hold on to their desert altar. Look at how long this rally is still here. How much time was wasted by blue team hurting red team, essentially. This rally is just taking a beating. Rallying with Richard in Ark of Osiris. Big no-no. Big no-no. You do not want to rally with Richard. You want to defend with Richard. And you want to make sure that when you're defending with Richard, you are holding on as good as possible. Again, Art87 going to go ham against this Ark with his counter rally. But guess what? The counter rally is about to disband because blue team is about to lose the building instead of going into the building and defending it even further. And well, more open field marches. Okay, so far so good, but there's such a big open field presence in here. I might be proven wrong. This rally might die off, but the building is most likely still going to go down. A lot of open field presence and people coming in to reinforce the building gives me hope that the blue team might hold on to this still. Oh boy, come on blue team. A little bit more. You guys came back so well. Less than 3,000 point differential. Provisions can still come in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not call it a match yet. Blue team taking a sky altar away, and there's a rally marching by instead of holding on to a building that's giving points. Building going down, and the lead that the folks in red had for the points per minute game drops from 160 to 10 points. And now, even worse, they are behind by 20 points. If these provisioners don't come in at any second, this match is going to go in favor of blue team. Red team taking out the obelisks, taking out anything. It's okay. Blue team don't care. It doesn't matter. This is a 10 points per minute building. And truthfully, what are you going to do? You're going to teleport to this side on the last minute? 3 altars in the favor of blue team. And ladies and gentlemen, unless the provisioners come in here, the Lions have roared. They were backpedaling probably 40 minutes of the match. They were backpedaling, trying to catch up with GoTM. The first arc was a great start, and then that second arc was just a killer. I'm not going to call it yet. 30 seconds, and provisioners can still come in at any point and change this game around altogether. So we're going to keep ourselves very, what would you say it? Calm and composed for another 15 seconds. The points per minute difference, the points difference in these two teams is growing massively. Blue team coming in with their provisions. And this is when we can definitely call it GG's for the Lions. Provisions coming in at the end to help them out, secure for sure the win. And man, oh man, what a match did we get to watch, ladies and gentlemen. This was probably the best match of the day. I'm going to call it probably the best match of the day. That's so far from what I've seen. Let's go take a peek at the stats. Red team healed ginormously more than the folks in blue. Almost four times as much, almost. The kills went in the favor of blue. The occupation points were in favor of red. But the Ark of Osiris and provisioning, ladies and gentlemen, look at the difference. The only difference, the only thing that the folks in blue got over the folks in red was this right here. They offset the difference in here with another arc. But even if you took this score and this score, the folks of red win by a very small margin. Lions by provisioning ensured their victory. And GoTM apparently don't watch Osiris League casts at all. Because last Osiris League season, I drilled that down to the point where even Chiskel got convinced. And here's one more of those where the lack of provisioning is how you lose a match. If we take a peek, you'll see that the occupations went more in favor of blue than red, but the occupation length was much, much, much bigger for the folks in red. Major GGs to the folks of LioN, the blue team. And we're going to need to do this very quickly before we do that as we go back home. And yeah, what a crazy match. That was probably the best match of the day. Bon, I appreciate you letting me know about this. Man, oh man, this was by far the best match to cast, I feel like. K9T won over 280k, fairly close. This might have been a good one too. There's a close match in here as well, but I don't think SOD and IWM was a fairly close match as well, but I don't think any of them was a comeback like this in the last 10 minutes. Wow. This was actually a great match to watch. With that being said, chat, I'm going to head out of here. Thank you for watching this cast. Drop a like on the stream before you leave. I'd appreciate that very much. It helps out the channel. It costs you 1 click, and it does a fairly good amount for the channel. So I'd appreciate if you drop a like before you leave. Thank you all. The VOD will be available fairly soon. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, anything, leave me a comment down below in the VOD. And yeah, I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Seedure Master, you want to go back to the VOD and watch this match because it was amazing. It was a really good match to watch. You guys have a good one. I'll see you probably in a few hours for the next Ark of Osiris block. I'm not entirely sure if I'm casting it yet or not. It depends on some personal life stuff. If not, I'll definitely be here for another cast if I don't have anything to do. If I don't need to do what I need to do, and I'll definitely cast. If not, well, this is going to be it. Regardless, awesome match. GG's to the Lions. Great work by GoTM. Few mistakes along the way cost the match, but that's how it goes. I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Thank you for being an awesome community, and take care. Peace.